Welcome, everyone. This is the 6th show of OCPL Presents Shakespeare Unstaged. We have a very big show for you today. We have lots of actors doing lots of Shakespeare. No contests, only Shakespeare. Shakespeare only, except for our announcements in the beginning. So I'll take it first. For Syracuse Shakespeare-In-The-Park, of course, our next show is Love's Labour's Lost, and that is a virtual show. And tickets for that are either free donation, which requires a $5 donation if you get your tickets at TicketLeap, or a premium seat, $25. And that gets you $12 worth of food from Beer Belly Deli, a cold bottle of water, a color copy of the playbill, and a Gannon's ice cream token. So you can run down to Gannon's and get an ice cream anytime you want. So that's ticketleap.com. And if you go to our Facebook page or our Facebook event page or our website, SSITP.org, they all have links to our ticketing page. So you can get your tickets. We also have ways to make donations directly to the actors. Any donations that we get, both for this show and for the next show, are going to be divided by the actors and the assistant director and the director. So equally divided. And it's a great way to show your appreciation for their work, and we encourage you to make donations. There are 3 ways you can do it right now. One is on the TicketLeap page, as I said. Another is a separate page, which is, if I can find it, yes, I can, there it is. And that is a donation for Love's Labour's Lost actors. It's a separate event on the page of TicketLeap. So if you want to go and just make a donation of whatever amount you want, you can do that there. So that's another way to do it. And of course, our next show after Love's Labour's Lost, we hope is going to be an actual in-person show at Thorndon Park Amphitheater, as we usually do, and that's Much Ado About Nothing. And a number of the actors in Love's Labour's Lost are also in Much Ado About Nothing. So I think that's it for everything I have. So I'm going to throw it over to Cara Luddy from OCPL, and she's going to tell you about some exciting library news. Take it away, Cara.
Hey, everybody. So first off, I just want to say thank you so much for all of your support as we have rolled out Library Takeout. All of our social media responses that we've received have been so positive, and when you send us that nice comment, it really helps us feel good. So like, we really appreciate the positive feedback, and thank you so much for being supportive. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about summer learning today and how we're going to roll it out. So summer learning is happening and we're planning it, but it is going to be all online this year to protect our patrons and our staff. Some good news is that we are still partnering with the Zoo and the Most to bring Zoo to You and the Traveling Science Show, which are really big hits, so don't worry, they're going to keep happening. We're also partnering with other community organizations to bring virtual programs for young children, children ages 5 to 12, and teens. So stay up to date by following us on Facebook. You can also visit onlib.org to get library updates. And summer learning is set to start July 6th. So keep an eye out for that. And that is the library update for today. Thanks.
Thank you, Cara. Thank you very much. And our first piece will be by myself and my wife. I forgot to name her yesterday, but this is Melinda Bell. And we're going to be doing a scene from The Taming of the Shrew. It's the first time that Petruchio and Kate meet, and I'm calling it their first fight. I'll attend her here and woo her with some spirit when she comes. Say that she rail, why then I'll tell her plain. She sings as sweetly as a nightingale. Say that she frown, I'll say she looks as clear as morning roses newly washed with dew. Say she be mute and will not speak a word, then I'll commend her volubility. And say she uttereth piercing eloquence. If she do bid me pack, I'll give her thanks, as though she bid me stay by her a week. If she deny to wed, I'll crave the day when I shall speak the banns, and when be married, But here she comes. And now, Petruchio, speak. Good morning, Kate, for that's your name, I hear.
Well have you heard, but something hard of hearing. They call me Katharine that do talk of me.
You lie, in faith, for you are called plain Kate, and bonny Kate, and sometimes Kate the Cursed. But Kate, the prettiest Kate in Christendom, Kate of Kate Hall, my super dainty Kate, for dainties are all Kates. And therefore, Kate, take this of me, Kate, of my consolation, hearing thy mildness praised in every town, thy virtues spoke of and thy beauty sounded, yet not so deeply as to thee belongs. Myself am moved to woo thee for my wife.
Moved in good time. Let him that moved you hither remove you hence. I knew you at the first, you were immovable.
Why? What's immovable?
A joined stool.
That thou hast hit it. Come, sit on me.
Asses are made to bear, and so are you.
Women are made to bear, and so are you.
No such jade as you, if me you mean.
Alas, good Kate, I will not burden thee, for knowing thee to be young and light.
Too light for such a swain as you to catch, and yet as heavy as my weight should be.
Should buzz.
Well ta'en and like a buzzard.
O slow-winged turtle, shall a buzzard take thee?
Aye, for a turtle, as he takes a buzzard.
Come, you wasp, faith, you are too angry.
If I be waspish, best beware my sting.
My remedy is then to pluck it out.
Aye, if the fool could find it where it lies.
Who knows not where a wasp does wear his sting? In his tail.
In his tongue.
Whose tongue?
Yours, if you talk of tails, and so farewell.
What, with my tongue in your tail? Nay, come again, good Kate, I am a gentleman.
That I'll try.
I swear I'll cuff you if you strike me again.
So may you lose your arms. If you strike me, you are no gentleman. And if no gentleman, why then no arms.
A herald, Kate. Oh, put me in thy books.
What is your crest? A coxcomb?
A combless cock, so Kate will be my hen.
No cock of mine. You crow too like a craven.
Nay, come, Kate, come. You must not look so sour.
It is my fashion when I see a crab.
Why, here's no crab, and therefore look not sour.
There is, there is.
Then show it me.
Had I a glass, I would.
What, you mean my face?
Well aimed of such a young one.
Now, by St. George, I am too young for you.
Yet you are withered.
'Tis with cares.
I care not.
Nay, hear you, Kate. In sooth, you scape not so.
I chafe you. If I tarry, let me go.
No, not a whit. I find you passing gentle. 'Twas told me you were rough and coy and sullen, and now I find report a very liar. For thou art pleasant, gamesome, passing courteous, but slow in speech, yet sweet as springtime flowers. Thou canst not frown, thou canst not look askance, nor bite the lip as angry wenches will, nor hast thou pleasure to be cross in talk. But thou with mildness entertainest thy wooers, with gentle conference, soft and affable. Why does the world report that Kate doth limp? O slanderous world! Kate, like the hazel twig, is straight and slender, and as brown in you as hazelnuts, and sweeter than the kernels. Oh, let me see thee walk. Thou dost not halt.
Go, fool, in whom thou keepst command.
Did ever Diane so become a grove as Kate this chamber with her princely gait? Oh, be thou Diane, and let her be Kate, and then let Kate be chaste, and Diane sportful.
Where did you study all this goodly speech?
It is extempore from my mother's wit.
A witty mother? Witless else her son.
Am I not wise?
Yes, keep you warm.
Marry, so I mean, sweet Katharine, in thy bed. And therefore, setting all this chat aside, thus in plain terms, your father has consented that you shall be my wife. Your dowry agreed on, and will you, nill you, I will marry you. Now, Kate, I am a husband for your turn, for by this light, whereby I see thy beauty that doth make me like thee well, thou must be married to no man but me, for I am he, and born to tame you, Kate, and bring you from a wild Kate to a Kate conformable as other household Kates. Here comes your father. Never make denial. I must and will have Katharine to my wife. And now we move on to a Love's Labour's Lost speech, not speech, a scene, a little scene. And we're all set for that. This is from Act 3, Scene 1, and it's starring Dominic DiCaprio and John Brackett and Derek Powell. Gentlemen, take it away.
Custard, I give thy liberty, and in lieu therefore of, impose on thee nothing but this. Bear the significant to the country-made Jaconetta. There is remuneration, for the best word of mine honors rewarding my dependents. Must follow.
Now will I look to his remuneration. Oh, remuneration. That's the Latin word for 3 farthings. 3 farthings remuneration. What's the price of this ankle? 1 penny. No, I'll give you a remuneration. Why, it carries it. Remuneration. Why, it's a fairer name than French crown. I will never buy and sell out this word.
Oh, my good name, Custard. Exceedingly well met.
Pray you, sir, how much carnation ribbon may a man buy for a remuneration?
What is a remuneration?
Marry, sir, a penny farthing.
Why then 3 farthing worth of silk.
I thank your worship. God be with you.
Stay, slave, I must implore thee. Do one thing for me, that I shall entreat.
When would you have it done, sir?
This afternoon.
Well, I will do it, sir. Fare you well.
If thou knowest not what it is.
I shall know, sir, when I have done it.
Wait, villain, thou must know first. The princess comes to hunt here in the park, and in her train there is a gentle lady, and Rosaline they call her. Ask for her, and to her white hand, see thou do commend this sealed up counsel. There's thy guerdon. Go.
Garden? Oh, sweet garden. Better than remuneration. 11 pence farthing better. Oh, most sweet garden. I will do it, sir, in print. Garden, remuneration.
And I, forsooth, in love. I that have been love's whip, a critic, nay, a night watch constable. This wimpled, whining, purblind, wayward boy, this senior junior, giant dwarf, Don Cupid, liege of all loiterers and malcontents, dread prince of plackets, king of codpieces, and I would be a corporal in his field and wear his colors like a tumbler's hoop. What? I sigh? I sue? I seek a wife? Nay, to be perjured, which is worst of all. And among 3 to love the worst of all, a whitely wanton with a velvet brow with 2 pitch balls stuck in her face for eyes, and I to sigh for her, to watch for her, to pray for her. Go to. It is a plague. Well, I will love. Right, sigh, pray, sue, and groan. Some men must love, milady, and some jump.
Thank you, gentlemen. Nice job. Very nice job. Looking forward to seeing the whole show of Love's Labour's Lost, and I hope you are too. Our next piece is a sonnet, sonnet number 141 from Shakespeare. It's done by Cayla Ross, starring Cayla Ross. And the title I give it is The Bard's Take on How Do I Love You? So Cayla, take it away.
In faith I do not love thee with mine eyes, for they in thee 1,000 errors note. But 'tis my heart that loves what they despise, who in despite of view is pleased to dote. Nor are mine ears with thy tongue's tune delighted, nor tender feeling to base touches prone, nor taste nor smell desired to be invited to any sensual feast with thee alone. But my 5 wits, nor my 5 senses can dissuade one foolish heart from serving thee. Who loves thee unswayed the likeness of man, thy proud heart slave and vessels wrenched to be. Only my plague thus far I count my gain, that he that makes me sin awards me pain.
Thank you, Cayla. Very nice. I love sonnets. I've done 4 of them so far in this series and plan to do more. Next, we have an actor from Love's Labor's Lost who's playing the character of Holofernes. You call it Holofernes or something like that, Jason?
Yes, yeah.
But he is doing a piece from Cymbeline, a play that I haven't read in 50 years. So I'm not very familiar with it, but I heard him do this during rehearsal. He did a great job. The character is Posthumus Leonatus, and I'm calling it The Very Devils. Take it away, Jason.
Is there no way for men to be, but women must be half-workers? Oh, we are all bastards. And that most venerable man, which I did call my father, was I know not where when I was stamped. Some coiner with his tools made me a counterfeit. Yet my mother seemed the Diane of that time. So doth my wife, the nonpareil of this. Oh, vengeance, vengeance! Me of my lawful pleasure she restrained and prayed me oft forbearance. Did it with a pudency so rosy, the sweet view on it might well have warmed old Saturn. That I thought her as chaste as unsunned snow. Oh, all the devils. This yellow Iachimo in an hour was't not, or less at first. Perchance he spoke not, but like a full acorned boar, a German one, cried, oh, and mounted. Found no opposition, but why he looked for so should oppose, and she should from encounter guard. Could I find out the woman's part in me? For there's no motion that tends to vice in man. But I affirm it is the woman's part. Be it lying, note it, the woman's. Flattering, hers. Deceiving, hers. Lust and rank thoughts, hers. Revenges, hers. Ambitions, covetings, change of prides, disdain, nice longing, slanders, mutability, all faults that may be named, nay, that hell knows. Why, hers, in part or all, but rather all. For even to vice, they are not constant, but are changing still one vice, but of a minute old, for one not half so old as that. I'll write against them, detest them, curse them. Yet 'tis greater skill in a true hate to pray they have their will. The very devils cannot plague them better.
Many snaps, many snaps. Thank you, Jason. And next we have the first of our 2 scenes from Hamlet. Jason will be playing a small part in it, and Tony Brown will be playing Hamlet. And this is Act 3, Scene 2, Hamlet's advice to the players. Tony, you're on.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of our players do, I had to leave the town crier, spoke my lines. Nor do not sow the air too much with your hands thus, but use all gently. For in the very torrent, tempest, and as I may say, whirlwind of your passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. Oh, it offends me to the soul to hear a robustious, periwig-prated fellow tear a passion to tatters, a very rag. To split the ears of the groundlings, who for the most part are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows and noise. I would have such a fellow whipped for all doing termagant, or out Herod. Pray you, avoid it.
I warrant your honor.
Oh, be not too tame neither, but let your own discretion be your suitor. Suit the actions to the words to the actions. With this special observance that you o'erstep not the modesty of nature. For anything so o'erdone is for the purpose of playing, whose end, both at the first in noun, was and is to hold, as 'twere the mirror up to nature, to show virtue her own features, scorn her own image, in the very age and body of the time her form imprecious. Now this overdone, come toddy off, though it makes the unskillful laugh, cannot but make the judicious grieve, the censure of that which one must in your allowance o'erweigh a whole theater of others. Oh, there be players that I have seen play this and heard others praise, and that's highly, not to speak it profoundly, that neither have any accents of Christians, nor the gait of Christians, pagans, nor men, have so strutted and bellowed that I have thought some of nature's journeymen have made men and not made them well. They imitated humanity so abominably.
I hope we have reformed that indifferently with us, sir.
Thank you, Tony and Jason. And now we're moving on to another famous part from Shakespeare. This is from Henry V. It's starring Simon Moody as Henry V. And it's from Act 4, Scene 3, and it's known as the St. Crispin's Day speech. And I'm going to give the introduction of the Earl of Westmorela. All that we now had here but 10,000 of those men in England that do no work today.
What's he that wishes so? My cousin Westmoreland. No, my fair cousin. If we are marked to die, we are now to do our country loss. And if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honor. God's will. I pray thee wish not one man more. By Jove, I am not covetous for gold, nor care I who doth feed upon my cost. It yearns me not if men my garments wear. Such outward things dwell not in my desires, but if it be a sin to covet honor, I am the most offending soul alive. No, faith, my coz, wish not a man from England. God's peace. I would not lose so great an honor as one man more methinks would share from me for the best hope I have. Oh, do not wish one more. Rather proclaim it, Westmoreland, through my host, that he which hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispin. He that outlives this day and comes safe home will stand a tiptoe when this day is named and rouse him at the name of Crispin. He that shall see this day and live old age will yearly on the vigil feast his neighbors and say, tomorrow is St. Crispin. Then he will strip his sleeve and show his scars and say, these wounds I had on Crispin's day. Old men forget, yet all shall be forgot, but he'll remember with advantages what feats he did that day. Then shall our names, familiar in his mouth as household words, Harry, the King, Bedford and Exeter, Warwick, Talbot, Salisbury, and Gloucester be in their flowing cups freshly remembered. This story shall the good man teach his son, and Crispin Crispian shall ne'er go by from this day to the ending of the world. But we in it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. Be he ne'er so vile, this day shall gentle his condition. And gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap, whiles any speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispin's Day.
Way to go, Simon.
Okay.
Thank you very much. That was great. Let's move on now to our second Hamlet scene. This one will be starring Samuel Tamburo, and Jason's going to be filling in as Horatio. So, gentlemen, take it away.
Let me see. Alas, poor York. I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times, and now how abhorred in my imagination. My gorges rise at it. Oh, here hung those lips that I have kissed I know not how oft. Where be your jibes now, your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table on a roar? Not one now to mock your own grinning. Quite chop-fallen. Now, get you to my lady's chamber and tell her, let her paint an inch thick to this favor she must come. Make her laugh at that. Prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
What's that, my lord?
Dost thou think Alexander looked to this fashion in the earth?
E'en so.
And smelled so? Ha!
E'en so, my lord.
Oh, to what base uses we may return, Horatio. Why may not imagination trace the noble dust of Alexander till he find it stopping a bunghole?
'Twere to consider too curiously to consider so.
No, faith, not a jot, but to follow him thither with modesty enough and likelihood to lead it as thus. Alexander died, Alexander was buried, Alexander returneth into dust, the dust is earth. Of earth we make loam, and why of that loam, whereto he was converted, might they not stop a beer barrel? Imperious Caesar, dead and turned to clay, might stop a hole to keep the wind away, oh, that the earth, which kept the world in awe, should patch a wall to expel the winter's flaw. But soft, aside, here comes the king.
Thank you, Sam. And now we move on to our last piece, but definitely not least, Anne Childress doing Calpurnia, portraying Calpurnia, from Julius Caesar, an amalgam of a number of speeches from one scene from Act 2, Scene 2. And Anne, you are on.
What mean you, Caesar? Think you to walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today. Caesar, I have never stood on ceremonies, yet now they fright me. There's one within, besides the things that we have heard and seen, recounts most horrid sights seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped in the street, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce fiery warriors fought upon the clouds in ranks and squadrons, in right form of war, which drizzle blood upon the Capitol. The noise of battle hurtled in the air. Horses did neigh, and dying men did groan, and ghosts did shriek and squeal about the streets. Oh, Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I do fear them. When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes. Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in the house and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate house, and he shall say, you are not well today. Let me, upon my knee, prevail in this.
Thank you, Anne, and thank you, one and all. That is the end of our show for today. We look forward to seeing you next week for show number 7, and have a wonderful week. Be safe, stay well.